How you doing there, everybody? Welcome back to Stand Focused for Jesus. I want to use this video as a learning tool in regards to being able to identify the enemy. Because as the days go by, your discernment in regards to being able to identify different types of spirits, they should be that much more sharp. And I'm going to use Snoop Doggy Dogg as a example in this video. Before I do that, I want to read a post, because as I was getting ready to make this video, something very interesting happened. And I'm going to show you what happens when you are fighting this spiritual war, when you're fighting the spiritual battle. People, I should say, spirits will speak just because they're like flies. Unclean spirits, they are attracted to light. But what they don't realize is them being attracted to the light, because the light is so bright and the light is so powerful within each and every one of us who are truly saved, they end up getting burned up. Like a fly going to the trap, to the light, and getting burnt up. And a lot of times they end up exposing themselves for who they really are without you even having to say anything. So I made this post on June 1st, and it said, "These are the gods of Egypt that we as blacks are supposed to go back and serve." It's a question. A goddess that was so bloodthirsty that she loved war, which means she would purposely cause it to drink the blood. A goddess who was so bloodthirsty that her father had to trick her into getting drunk so that she wouldn't kill all of mankind. So I'm posing these questions, of course. I'm like, no, I'm good. And this is in correlation to another video that I'm going to be doing probably next. But hey, the God we serve as Christians is the bad one, right? Nobody has to trick God into not destroying mankind. When he does it, he will do it. So I go in a little bit talking about this goddess of ancient Egypt, and a guy commented on it, and I don't know this guy. Don't know him. We're not friends on Facebook. And so he said, blacks are supposed to serve Egyptian gods. That's a new one. A little more study on your part would be good. Each African tribe had different beliefs. In my tribe, there was one supreme God who was the creator and never in any situation allowed killing of a human being, even in carrying out of death sentence. Now, I already discern this guy isn't legit. He's not legit. He's just running his yapper because the spirit within him wants some type of attention. So then I replied, and I'll let you see my reply. And I address spirits directly. Same way y'all see me on YouTube and you hear me on the phone is the same way that I'm on Facebook and in my regular life. In your haste of pride to respond, you didn't comprehend the post nor the context. You have ears, but you hear not. Riddle me this. Why did I put a question mark at the end of the first sentence, and why does the context flow perfectly with the point I made, which had nothing to do with blacks are supposed to serve Egyptian gods? Whether I am studied or not is irrelevant to anything right now, because a person can study all they want, but the comprehension isn't there. It is vanity. So you try to say that I don't know what I'm talking about. I need to go study more. And I made the point of, well, even if I did study a lot, which I do, but even if I did, if I don't have the comprehension to go along with what I'm studying, then it is vanity. So this guy exposed himself, and I didn't think nothing of it. I said what I needed to say, but I made a post today, and as you will see, staying focused for Jesus, it was 1 hour ago. Today is 6/3/2019. Y'all can go on my Facebook page to see that. So let's get into what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, let's jump down. I want to show you what happened, because I don't want to get off track. So this guy decides to comment on my post again. I don't know this guy. And he said, I didn't read everything, so why are you on here? And what, I guess it's supposed to say, and what I'm going through right now, I would sell my soul to the devil for this month's upkeep. So he tries to correct me, but here he is on my Stand Focused for Jesus ministry page, commenting on a post where I'm addressing Snoop Dogg for what he is, a hellhound, and how he sold his soul. And here this guy comes who's saying that, hey, everything I'm going through right now, I would sell my soul just for this month's upkeep. On a post where I'm talking about Snoop Dogg selling his soul, even though he didn't read the whole thing, though. Maybe this guy needs prayer. Or maybe this isn't the person that's speaking this. This is a spirit waiting for their promises from their father. So I found that very, very interesting, how this guy replied to this post. Don't know him. He jumped on here and talking about that he would sell his soul just for this month's upkeep. And it's also interesting because I've said that many, many times in other videos, in other posts, where I speak about people selling their soul for a meal, for nothing. Like, you shouldn't be doing it, but hey, if you're gonna do it, you might want to go all out with it. Of course, I'm not sitting there telling people to sell their soul, but y'all know what I'm saying. Hopefully you do. So let's get into this. So I'm just going to expound on what I said so we can learn the lessons that we need to learn. In his autobiography, Snoop Dogg specifically talks about selling his soul to the devil for fame and fortune. The Bible tells us this: death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. So if you love life, then you eat the fruit of it. If you love death, then you eat the fruit of it. We know that words are powerful and have meanings. Supposed to have meanings. Autocorrect. Therefore, a name is powerful. Our parents chose our name specifically, as do quote-unquote artists. So since Snoop Dogg specifically picked his name, there must be a meaning to it. Is it possible that there is a correlation between his stage name and him selling his soul? Words out of his own mouth, not nothing that I'm making up. And also there's a correlation with his real name, Calvin. I think it's Calvin Cordovar, something like that. Cordozar Broadus Jr. I looked that up, but I didn't put it in this article. So we look at the word Snoop. It means to go around in a prying manner. To pry. Eat in secret. Eat sweets. We talk about the sugar-coated gospel. Sneak. To bite. Snatch. Specific meaning. To pry into other people's business. The definition of dog as a noun is a canis. It is a rare word used in at least one Middle English source in reference specifically to a powerful breed of canine. Now, if we jump down here, right here, it says its origin remains one of the great mysteries of English etymology. the other interesting thing is every language that I went and looked up the word dog, it said the same thing. That it was like they didn't know where it came from. They didn't know where the root of the word came from. I found that very, very interesting also. So I wonder, is there a correlation between all this? Let's dig deeper into it. In reference to persons by c. 1200, in abuse or contempt as a mean, worthless fellow, currish, sneaking scoundrel, playful, abusive sense of rakish man, especially if young, a sport, a gallant. Slang meaning for ugly woman. And then also what? A sexually aggressive man. So it all depends on the context and how the word is used. We know these things. So then we look up canine because we know dog comes from canis. Or is it canus? What was it? Canis. And we see a pointed tooth of the dog. And then it gives you a little bit more information on it. So we go down here and it says, so by Snoop Dogg's own admission, by his name choice, he's a sneaky, aggressive scoundrel who pries in others' business, of a powerful group of canines that are really worthless, that was seen to fit a person who sold their soul to the devil, right? Of course. Now you may be saying, well, man, all this is speculation, doesn't make any sense. Snoop Doggy Dogg. And almost every album of his, and people that are familiar with him, they know this, he presents himself as a dog. He changes, he shapeshifts into a dog, a Doberman Pinscher, to be exact. And isn't it interesting that Snoop Dogg actually looks like a literal dog? I wonder if there's something deeper to that. Why does he literally look like a dog? Why, when you read the articles about his mother, now his mother claimed that she named him Snoopy from the show Peanuts because she said he looked like Snoopy. So his own parents says that he looks like a dog. His dad said that when he came out the womb, when he was born, he looked like a dog. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that my son looks like a dog. Even if my son did look like a dog, I'm not going to publicly come out and say, my son, hey, he look like a dog. Because that just don't sound good. That does not sound good. He look like a dog. Or that baby look like a little monkey. And we know how they tried to apply that to a certain group of people. So, why is it that his mama named him after a dog? His daddy said he looked like a dog. So he has taken on this persona of a dog. Or is he operating in the spirit of a certain beast? Is he Calvin in the flesh? But inwardly, is he something else? So we go down and we get a little bit more information about the dog in ancient times. The dogs of the ancient Egyptians. An ancient sight hound depicted on the tomb of, don't know how to pronounce it, but y'all see it. The Ibizan hound has the ability to jump great heights, is agile, and now works as a scent hound and a family dog. This breed is said to have been used to hunt by the pharaohs of Egypt. So it's a family dog. What was Snoopy? Snoopy was a family dog. And Snoop Dogg got his name from there. Also in the Peanuts cartoons, Snoopy always took on different what? personalities, different characteristics. He always had different type of fantasies. One day he would be, you know what I'm saying, cool Snoopy. Next day, you know what I'm saying, he's a pilot. Snoopy was different things. Snoopy was whatever he wanted to be. In contrast to his owner, who was shy and, you know, was scared of life. So it goes on and it says, Anubis is the Greek name of a god associated with mummification and the afterlife in ancient Egyptian religion, usually depicted as a canine or a man with a canine head. Archaeologists have identified Anubis' sacred animal as an Egyptian canid, the African golden wolf. So Anubis, who is a dog, depicted as a canine dog, is really a wolf. In the same way, the serpent that's depicted as the snake, as a snake in ancient Egypt, is really a worm. If you go back deeper into it, they tell you that in their teachings, that it's the worm. And they worship the worm. The worm being Satan. The weakness, the flesh, the sin, the darkness. The reason for the worm is they believe the worm is immortal. You cut a worm in half and with certain worms, they grow back. They believe that the worm is the most ancient of all time, the most ancient creature that has survived everything. Are you getting it? So let's read that one more time right here. So Anubis is usually depicted as a canine or a man with a canine head. Okay. Let's look at some of Snoop Dogg's album covers. Now this is popular one from his first album, Snoop Doggy Dogg. What is he depicted as? He's depicted as a dog. He got the watchers watching on. He got the dog catcher right here with his mouth open like, oh my God. And what's he doing? It's obvious. It says Snoop is always on top of things. Then it says, beware of dog. Keep that in mind. Beware of dog. They're putting it right in front of your face. Beware dog. He's trying to get, obviously, the booty. So, what did we read? What did we read? A dog. That of a sexually aggressive man. Oh, I guess it's just a coincidence that fits perfectly. I guess it's just a coincidence. So let's see what else we have here. Okay, this is for his album called Kool-Aid. What do you have again? Sexually aggressive. For the love of money is the root of all evil. He got the money, trying to get it. He gonna get a drunk with the spirits. And what is he presenting himself as? A dog. With the sea in the background. Calling upon him. Because he's a superhero, supposed to be. So he's presenting himself as a canine. Okay. To make sure we're not making anything up. Let's go back. Anubis is usually depicted as a canine or a man with a canine head. It's really the African golden wolf. So, see what else we have. What else can we find in regards to his album covers? You got another one right here. Snoop World, surrounded with the dogs. Another one right here, dressed in all black. Y'all know what that's about. Another one, him being represented as a dog. Majority of his album covers, they're like that. The Dogg Pound, all about the dog. You just have to see it spiritually. Snoop Dogg, The Last Meal, a play on words. This one's kind of provocative, but you see, this is his greatest hits. He's a dog. He got the MK Ultra sex kittens, or in this case, sex dogs, behind the fence. He's controlling them. They're prostitutes. And there's a correlation between that. I'm going to prove it to you. Where was the other one that? Seen one more I wanted to show y'all. Go back. Oh, there you go. There's Snoop. This is when he was under No Limit Records, and he got his dogs with him. He's showing you who he's riding with. He's a shapeshifter. He is not who you think he is. You're looking at the flesh and blood. You're looking at the flesh and say, "Oh, Snoop Dogg is cool. I want to be like Snoop." If you're talking about you want to be like Snoop, that means you want to be like the spirit within him. The spirit of Anubis, the spirit of the dog, the spirit of a hellhound. They're telling you. Here goes another one. Here goes another one. There goes Snoop. Look at him. Look at him. All of them animals. All of them animals, just like in ancient Egypt. It's right there in front of our faces. So we go back to what I wrote. Go down here. It says, like many ancient Egyptian deities, Anubis assumed different roles in various contexts. When you go study Snoop, he changes his identity, just like Snoopy did in Peanuts. Anubis will take on whatever role he wants to take on, whatever role he needs to take on. Depicted as a protector of graves as early as the first dynasty, Anubis was also an embalmer. I'm going to explain all this to y'all. By the Middle Kingdom, he was replaced by Osiris in his role as Lord of the Underworld, Master of Hell. Lord means master. Underworld, we know what the underworld is. Master of the dead. King of the dead. One of his prominent roles was as a god who ushered souls into the afterlife. So, through his music, Snoop, through his music, his words, his spirit, he has embalmed and mummified millions of people into accepting death as their afterlife. We don't accept death as our afterlife. We accept life as our afterlife. And our life is in Christ. He is a protector of all those who put themselves under his protection, sold their souls to the same master he serves. On earth, he plays his part as a god to millions of people. People literally worship Snoop Dogg. Through his actions, he continues to usher all those into hell that he has embalmed here on earth. If anyone tries to undo the mummification of a person, he is there as a protector, a guard dog. Snoop Dogg is literally a wolf, a hellhound, manifested in the flesh. That is what Snoop Dogg is. He is a hellhound, literally. You see him as a man, but he is not a man. God said he made man in his image. You got to understand what man is. The only way a person is a man is if they have been born again into the image of what a man is supposed to be, which is through the Lord Jesus Christ. So when you see Snoop Dogg, that's not a man. He's in the form of a man. He is a spirit, and probably Anubis himself, but he is definitely a hellhound. Literally, a devil, a tear, manifested in the flesh, walking around in his flesh. So let's get a little bit more information about a hellhound. A hellhound is a supernatural dog in folklore. A wide variety of ominous or hellish supernatural dogs occur in mythologies around the world. Features that have been attributed to hellhounds include mangled black fur, which is, if you're familiar with some of Snoop Dogg's videos, you see that, the black fur, glowing red eyes, supernatural, super strength and speed, ghostly or phantom characteristics, and a foul odor. Majority of those are presented in his music videos. Now, I told you about that odor, spiritual odors. There you go, right there. Now, this is a supernatural. This is a spiritual dog. It's a hellhound, and it has a foul odor attached to it. So a lot of times you can smell these hellhounds before they even come, if you're walking in the spirit. Certain European legends state that if someone stares into a hellhound's eyes 3 times or more, that person will surely die. In cultures that associate the afterlife with fire, hellhounds may have fire-based abilities in appearance. They are often assigned to guard the entrances to the world of the dead. That's what Snoop Dogg is, such as graveyards and burial grounds, or undertake other duties related to the afterlife or the supernatural, such as hunting lost souls or guarding a supernatural treasure. Hunting lost souls. Snoop Dogg is a hellhound. He's a hunter of the lost souls. People here on earth, they're lost. He's hunting them for Satan in exchange for his fame and fortune that he has received. In European legends, seeing a hellhound or hearing it howl may be an omen or even a cause of death. They are said to be the protectors of the supernatural, guarding the secrecy of supernatural creatures or beings from the world. That's what his job is. He's supposed to keep people in darkness so they don't really see him for who he is and see the ones that are behind him. That's his job. So what does the Bible tell us about dogs? Beware of dogs. Beware of evil workers. Beware of the concision. Beware of dogs. Remember I told you? Remember I told you? Beware of dog. They're telling you right in front of your face. They have to tell you, but they can tell you in the way they want to tell you. Beware of dog. Because he's going to get you. Beware of dogs. Jesus is telling you. Then he says, beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing. Y'all excuse me, that's my son if y'all heard him. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are what? Ravening wolves. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Now, when you go look up the word dog in the context of the scriptures, you see it's pretty much a person that they have a reprobate mind. But also, when you look up the word dog, it means male prostitute. A male prostitute. That's a lot of times in the scriptures, when they were referring to a dog, it was referring to a male prostitute. So when you see this, what is he doing? He's prostituting himself out. This is only the physical manifestation of it. This is the physical manifestation of what was already in him, and the physical manifestation of him prostituting himself to Satan because he sold his soul to Satan. So when the scripture talking about beware of dogs, beware of these male prostitutes that whore themselves out to other gods to have you to worship other gods. Because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you to worship other gods. They're trying to get you to continue to be lost. They're hunting you, bringing you back to their master so that you can bow down and worship him as Savior. So let's go look at these lyrics from his song. And some of you are familiar with this, but some of you may not be. You got to understand the words. You got to understand semantics and wordplay. Now it starts off and says, this is Angela Sanders coming to you live from the scene of yet another murder mystery. This is all a play on what Christ did for us. It seems that entertainer Snoop Dogg has been murdered. We have no information at this time. Now watch this. This is Angela Sanders. Out of all the names to choose, why did they choose that name? I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you why. If we go look up this, what does Angela mean? Angela is a female given name. The origin of the name is Latin and its background is Christian. It is derived from the Greek word angelos, meaning messenger of God. Then you look up Sanders and you jump down. It says the root origins of the name came from Alexander, meaning helper of mankind. In early European history, some settlers had named their first male child after Alexander the Great, and that it was shortened to names such as Alexander and Zander. And then you got from that Sanders. So, gives you a little bit of information right there. We bring in another witness. It tells you meaning what? Son of defender of men. So when you see this is Angela Sanders, this is the messenger of God who is a defender of mankind. Seeing what Snoop Dogg is about to do. And you'll see that in the context because he's about to die. It says, as I look up at the sky, my mind starts tripping. A tear drops my eye. My body temperature falls. I'm shaking and they breaking, trying to save the dog. Pumping on my chest and screaming. I stop breathing. Dang, I see demons. So he's about to die and he's screaming because he's about to go to hell. He's seeing the demons. So this angel is leading him to where he's supposed to go, about to lead him to where he's supposed to go, playing out his story. Telling y'all what's happening. Then he cried out to God, dear God, I wonder, can you save me? I know it sounds funny because I know how the song actually goes and some of you are familiar with it. I got to read it regular. I can't die, my boo-boo's about to have my baby. I think it's too late for praying, hold up. So he's like crying out to God, is it too late, Lord? Is it too late? I'm not ready to die. Then God's obviously not answering him because he's like, I think it's too late for praying. Then hold up. A voice spoke to me and it slowly started saying, bring your lifestyle to me, I'll make it better. Bring your lifestyle, the lifestyle that he was already living. This facade of being a thug, a gangster. Bring that to me. This lifestyle that glorifies murder and lasciviousness and everything. Bring it to me and I'm gonna make it better. I'm gonna magnify it. I'm gonna bring forth more fruit. And then Snoop responds with, and how long will I live? Eternal life and forever. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with this is Satan speaking to him. And will I be the G that I was. I'll make your life better than you can imagine or you ever dreamed of. Will I be the God that I was before? I'm going to make you a bigger God. I'm going to make you greater than what you were. So relax your soul. Let me take control. Relax your soul. Let me take control. Close your eyes, my son. Then Snoop responds, my eyes are closed. His eyes are now spiritually closed. He has given over control. He has given over his soul and his spirit to the devil. The Lord had opened up his eyes and let him see what was going on. I don't want to see no more. You take control of this. So he goes in. Murder was the case that he gave me. Talks about that. But if you go watch the video, I'm not going to put the video in this sermon, but the conversation he's having is with the devil. And then it's funny because the part where he's talking about that he says he starts seeing demons, the scene they show is the nurses that are standing over him. So Snoop Dogg literally sold his soul to the devil. Snoop Dogg is literally a hellhound. And Snoop Dogg has came out recently professing. I don't think he's even claiming or professing. I just think people are deceived. But he has came out with a new album called The Bible of Love. And people are supporting him. Oh, you don't know if he's really had a change, and you don't know if God is working on him. My issue isn't that so much. My issue is, okay, if he's legit, then first prove to me that he denounced this contract with Satan and that he's truly born again. I see no indication that Snoop Dogg has truly denounced his contract, his covenant, his blood covenant that he has made with the devil. I see no evidence that he will ever do it. Because I truly believe that Snoop Dogg is literally a devil manifested in the flesh. He is literally a hellhound. Are some of you familiar with the show Lucifer? I watched a few episodes of that. And they have the one chick on there. And they got, they got her looking all good and everything. They chose, a chick that was pretty attractive to play that role. But you know what she really is in the show? She looks like a beautiful woman on the outside. But in the show, she is a hellhound for Lucifer. She's a hellhound for Lucifer, for Satan. Snoop Dogg is a hellhound for Satan. Perpetrating and masquerading himself, transforming himself into an angel of light, transforming himself into a minister of righteousness, because he's only following in the footsteps of his father, the devil. So I just want to use this as a learning tool, so y'all can be that much more on point in regards to your discernment and know what's actually going on, and not walking around here getting eaten up by hellhounds because you can't see them coming. You can't smell them. You should be able to see them before they come. You should be able to smell them before they come. So as a watchman on the wall, sound the alarm. God bless each and every one of you in Jesus Christ's name. As always, stay focused for Jesus. And as you know, truth is not debated, it is declared. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If it was edifying to you, be sure to do your part and share it on all your social media outlets, websites, and forums. Your help is greatly appreciated to help fight this war and reach lost souls. Don't forget to like, dislike, and or subscribe. Be sure to also check out our website, stayingfocusedforjesus.life. And make sure you check out that resource section, which has a lot of videos that I share and some other stuff. Books, documents, PDF, websites, many things, and it's growing daily as I add to it. Also follow us on Facebook for even more content. Staying Focused for Jesus on Facebook.